Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick of Notorious Bets, and in today's video, we're going to be going in depth into my top 3 best bets for today in the NBA Friday, February 3rd. But before we do a deep dive into my top player props of the day, I would like to ask that if you guys are new to the channel and you do end up enjoying today's video, that you please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure that you do leave a like on today's video. It would help me out a ton. If you want to follow me on Twitter, please do so at NotoriousFNTSY. And if you guys have a favorite play for today in the NBA February 3rd, please leave it down below in the comment section. I would love to talk to you guys down there. So without further ado, let's get into my top 3 player prop bets of the day. Again, today is Friday, February 3rd. So today we got an 8-game slate tonight, and my number 1 player prop bet of the day is going to be Deandre Ayton over 18.5 points. Deandre Ayton plays for the Suns going up against the Boston Celtics in Boston. Ayton's over 18.5 points is currently set at -105 on DraftKings Sportsbook. We have another game without Devin Booker here, as his earliest return date is set for next Tuesday up against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to return next Tuesday, but that's kind of where the door is open for him to potentially come back. Ayton has went over the 18.5 points number in 5 straight games, and in 6 of his last 10 games he has went over. The Phoenix Suns are 9.5 point underdogs in this spot in the TD Garden, so I fully expect Ayton to log 30 plus minutes in this game, assuming that it isn't a blowout, because if it is a blowout, if the Phoenix Suns are getting their back blown out by the Boston Celtics, which is something we saw the Celtics do very recently up against the Brooklyn Nets, then Deandre Ayton is in danger of getting benched and not playing too much into the 4th quarter of the game. Though I will note that in the Suns' last game, they got destroyed by the Atlanta Hawks. They lost by 32 in that game, and yet Deandre Ayton was still able to log over 18.5 points in that game. So I wouldn't say it is impossible for Ayton to get over 18.5, but obviously his path towards success, his path towards over 18.5 is much easier if the Phoenix Suns are at least a little scrappy in this game. They keep themselves in this game. The Celtics also ranked 25th against the center position in the NBA. So while when you ask most people if the Boston Celtics have a top 10 defense, they would probably say yes. Up against the center, they are far from ideal, so I really do expect yet another solid performance out of Deandre Ayton tonight up against the Boston Celtics in the TD Garden. Next up, we move to D'Angelo Russell of the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Orlando Magic at home in Minnesota. D'Angelo Russell over 5.5 assists, currently set at -125 on DraftKings Sportsbook. This game currently has the Timberwolves as 4.5 point favorites in this spot. Now, while in the past you read the word or the 2 words Orlando Magic, you throw up a little bit, right? You expect anytime the Magic are playing that they are going to get their back blown out. They're going to get absolutely eviscerated in any given spot. But recently, this team has been sneaky good. Now, I'm not saying that they're these playoff contenders. There's this team that's really going to be amazing down the stretch of the season coming out the All-Star break. Probably not, right? But they have been good at being competitive. They're what we call frisky. They can stay in games with these teams, even though you would typically think that the Magic would get destroyed in this spot. And they even had a huge comeback win not too long ago, 2 games ago, up against the Philadelphia 76ers. Over D'Angelo Russell's last 10 games, he is averaging 6.2 assists per game. Over his last 5 games, he averages 5.4, but that is mainly due to a poor performance in the assist column on the first game, or on the first, which was just 2 days ago, up against the Warriors, where he had just 2. Over his last 5 games, he is 3 of 2, but in his last 10, he has only had 2 games where he scored under 5.5 points. The Magic ranked 24th in assists allowed per game and ranked 29th up against the shooting guard in terms of defense. The Timberwolves, maybe without Rudy Gobert tonight, but honestly, whether it's him or Naz Reid getting the minutes at center, I don't really think that is going to have the largest effect on D'Angelo Russell. I think he'll be just fine. Now, obviously, on paper, Rudy Gobert, much better than Naz Reid, but I wouldn't tell you that it's impossible for D'Angelo Russell to put up the over 5.5 assists, even if Rudy Gobert does end up missing. So my final best bet of the day, if you have ended up enjoying thus far, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below as well. And again, let me know down below. Maybe you like these bets, you hate these bets. I love talking to you guys, so let me know down below in the comment section. Fred VanVleet, Fred Van Elite, over 29.5 points plus assists, better known as PA Toronto at the Houston Rockets. He has hit the over 29.5 points plus assists in 7 of his last 10 and 3 of his last 5 games, averaging 31.7 PA over his last 10 and 31.4 PA in his last 5. OG Anunoby is out in this game, which could lead to more shots going the way of Fred VanVleet. The Rockets ranked 28th in defense up against the point guard position. The record of Houston might be complete and utter dog shit, right? It's atrocious. 13-38, and they are dealing with injuries, right? The team is riddled with injuries. The injury bug hit them hard. Backhand Will Smith style, but the books have this as Toronto only as favored by 7.5. So this could end up being a bit of a closer game compared to what people might think. So again, my top 3 bets of the day: Deandre Ayton over 18.5 points, D'Angelo Russell over 5.5 assists, and Fred VanVleet over 29.5 points plus assists. So thank you guys all so much for watching. If you did end up enjoying this video, again, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below, as well as hitting that like button. The Fred VanVleet number, I don't think I mentioned it, minus 120 on the over. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I love you guys all so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your guys' day. We'll be back tomorrow every single day. We'll be back every single day with my top 3 NBA picks. Sometimes I might feel a little bit spicy, top 4, maybe even some days. I love the board. I'm seeing the board so well that we're going to go with top 5 bets of the day. So I love you guys all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your guys' day. And as always, good boy.